She hasn't opened the music box in 3 years. Every night, she touches it, but she never lifts the lid, because some melodies are harder to survive than silence. She rests her fingers on the small music box with the lid closed. It sits near the edge of the table, not centered, not hidden, just there. Her thumb moves slowly across the smooth lid. Back and forth. Back and forth. She does not open it. The room is dim, but not dark. A low light stretches across the table and fades before reaching the walls. The corners stay quiet. She shifts slightly in her seat. Fabric brushes against wood. Then everything settles again. The music box remains still. Her hand leaves it for a moment. She places both palms on her knees. Breath in. Breath out. The air feels steady tonight. Nothing hums. Nothing flickers. Her fingers return to the lid as if they have always known the way. They trace the same narrow edge. The same corner. She has done this before. The lid stays closed. She does not test the hinge. She does not slide a nail beneath it. There is comfort in that small decision. She leans back a little. The music box is now a few inches farther away. Not distant. Just out of reach. Her shoulders lower. Breathing softens. In. Out. The surface of the box catches a faint reflection and then loses it again. Light shifts. The object does not. Her hands fold loosely in her lap. They remain there. The table holds its shape in the quiet room. The air feels thick but gentle. She looks at the music box without really looking at it. It has weight. It has presence. It asks for nothing. Her head tilts slightly to one side, then stills. The lid remains closed. No sound begins. No melody rises. The night feels wide around her, but not empty. She lets her eyes rest halfway shut. The music box stays where it has always been, and she stays with it. She reaches for the small music box at the same hour each night. Not earlier. Not later. Her hand moves toward it almost before she notices. The lid remains closed. She wipes the surface with the side of her sleeve. A slow circle. Then another. There is never any dust. Still, she does it. After that, she adjusts it slightly. A small turn to the left. The next night, a small turn back. The table has faint marks where it has rested for a long time. She aligns the box with those marks without thinking. Her breathing finds a rhythm once her fingers touch it. In. Out. Some nights, she leans closer, elbows on the table, her forehead nearly over the lid. Other nights, she stays back, only the tips of her fingers resting there. She never opens it. She runs her thumb along the seam where lid meets base. Slowly, carefully, she pauses there. Then she lets her hand fall away. The room follows the same pattern. A light turned low. A chair pulled back slightly. A soft exhale before sitting down. Nothing rushes. The air thickens in the quiet and then thins again. She traces the small curve at the corner. The same corner every night. Her shoulders lower when she does. Sometimes she closes her eyes while her fingers remain on the lid. Not asleep, just resting. The music box does not move. It does not offer anything. Its silence feels predictable. She shifts her weight. The chair answers softly and then becomes still again. Minutes pass without count. Her hand returns once more before she stands. A final touch. A gentle press of her palm flat against the top, as if confirming it is still there, as if it has not changed. Then she rises. The box stays where she left it. The lid remains closed, and the room slowly settles back into its quiet shape. One night her hand does not move toward the small music box right away. It rests on the table as it always does. Lid closed. Edges quiet in the dim light. She sits down more slowly than usual. Her hands remain in her lap. Breath in. Breath out. The room feels the same, but her shoulders do not lower as quickly. She looks at the box without touching it. A small distance now. Only a few inches. Still, it feels longer. Her fingers press together lightly, then loosen. She leans forward, then stops. The lid remains closed. The seam between lid and base catches a thin line of shadow. She watches that line for a while. Her hand finally rises. It hovers above the surface. Not touching. Just above. There's a pause there. Longer than usual. Her thumb lowers slowly until it meets the top. She traces the center instead of the corner this time. A different path. Her breathing shifts. Not faster. Just uneven for a moment. She slides her finger toward the hinge. Stops. The hinge stays still. Unasked. Unmoved. Her nail rests against the edge where the lid could lift. She keeps it there. A quiet pressure. Not enough to open. Her shoulders remain lifted slightly, as if waiting for something inside her to settle. Nothing changes. The music box does not respond. It does not promise a melody. It does not resist. Her hand withdraws. She places both palms flat on the table and lowers her head slightly. In. Out. The air feels heavier tonight. After a while, She reaches again, but only to turn the box a fraction of an inch away from her. Not far. Just enough that the hinge faces the other direction. The lid remains closed. She leans back. Her hands return to her lap. Her eyes close for a few seconds, then open again. The box stays where it is, silent, and she leaves it untouched for the rest of the night. She sits down without reaching for the small music box. It waits on the table, lid closed, turned slightly away from her. The light is softer tonight, almost dim enough to disappear. Her hands rest loosely on her thighs. She does not look at the box right away. Breath in. Breath out. The room holds its shape around her. Nothing presses forward. After a while, her eyes lift. They settle on the back edge of the music box, the hinge facing the wall. It looks smaller from this angle, less defined. She does not adjust it. She does not turn it back. Her shoulders lower on their own. The air moves slowly in and out of her chest. Steady now. She leans back into the chair and lets her head rest. The table remains untouched. The box remains closed. Its silence feels familiar, but lighter. Not something she needs to hold. Just something that exists. Minutes pass without measure. Her hands slide from her thighs to the sides of the chair, then back again. A small movement. Nothing more. She watches the outline of the box soften as her eyes grow heavier. Edges blur gently. The seam between lid and base disappears into shadow. There's no pause this time. No hovering hand. No fingertip tracing corners. The distance stays, and it feels calm. She closes her eyes fully now. Breathing slows. In. Out. The music box remains where it has always been. Closed. Unopened. Unchanged. The room grows quieter, though nothing has shifted. Her chin lowers slightly toward her chest. Her body settles deeper into the chair. The table stands steady. The box keeps its quiet shape in the dim light. And she lets the night carry the rest. Not every day needs meaning. Some days only need to exist. Quietly. Without purpose. If you're listening in a calm moment. Nothing more is required.